Mario Party has always been my go-to party game, whether I'm playing it on the GameCube, the Wii, or the Switch. Ever since Hudson Soft closed down though, things have been kinda rocky. We got releases like the Top 100 and Mario Party 10 that were, pretty bad. Things slightly improved on the Switch with Super Mario Party, but they still weren't quite there. Mario Party Superstars was an amazing game, don't get me wrong, but it borrowed all of its content from older games. Could Nintendo still put out good, brand new Mario Party games? When Super Mario Party Jamboree was announced in June, I was optimistic. The game had fixed the biggest issue I had with Super Mario Party, the lack of content. In fact, not only was Jamboree supposed to be bigger than Super Mario Party, it was supposed to be the biggest Mario Party yet. All the minigames and maps looked like loads of fun. So would Jamboree deliver? Jamboree has a slew of modes to choose from, but I'll start out with old reliable, Mario Party. Jamboree has the same shenanigans we've all come to know and love. Super Mario Party Jamboree introduced Jamboree Buddies, which were a really cool addition. At certain points in a game, you can run into a character on the board and initiate a minigame, and the winner of that minigame gets the character as a buddy. The buddy can help you get more coins on a certain space, or it could even allow you to buy 2 stars at once. It made the game more hectic, which made it so much more fun. You never know what's gonna happen. Jamboree also had some amazing boards. My personal favorite was Mega Wiggler's Tree Party, but there's a lot to choose from here. They all were so different from each other, with each board having its own twist on the gameplay, and all the boards made such amazing additions to the game. You can unlock new boards by progressing through what's essentially a battle pass. Wait a minute, hear me out though. It's actually not as bad as you'd think. First off, you don't have to buy the Battle Pass, which already puts it leagues ahead of most games. Second, you unlock 1 level per achievement, and the achievements can actually be pretty easy. I was able to plow through like 20 or so achievements just from a quick free play minigame session. Plus, you'll have unlocked all the boards and modes by level 30, I think, so you don't really have to grind for anything. There's probably another word to describe how the progression works in Super Mario Party Jamboree, but I'm most familiar with the word Battle Pass, so that's what I'll be calling it from here on out.
Bruh.
I had loads of fun playing the standard Mario Party mode with my friends, as usual. Who knew ruining your friendships could be so much fun? I love the reactions that you can make, except for when my one friend kept spamming one of Waluigi's reactions. I literally heard it in my sleep that night. I also love how the Mario Party games on Switch have made online multiplayer standard in the games. It's something I wanted for ages, so I was really excited when it was added in Super Mario Party. I'm glad that Superstars and Jamboree continued the trend. If you're a loser that doesn't like the randomness of Mario Party, you're in luck, because this game has pro rules. If you're one of those people that insists that you're better than everyone else, and it's just the randomness of the game that put you in last place, you can activate pro rules to disable things like hidden blocks. It locks Boo's ability to steal so he can only steal a max of 15 coins, and it whittles the game down to only 1 bonus star. It's kind of like Mario Kart, where a lot of the fun of Mario Kart comes from the items, and the randomness, and I guess for lack of a better term, the unfairness. But you know what? The more options, the better. Hopefully those 2 people in denial that they're bad at Mario Party can finally quiet down. The minigames in Jamboree are all terrific as well. None of them gave me blisters, so they're already better than the minigames in the first Mario Party. The minigames are all a blast, and they're super addictive as well, so I spent way more time than I'm willing to admit replaying the same minigames over and over again. My personal favorites are Sandwiched, Scarousel, and Cold Front. There are a bajillion minigames, or more accurately, 112, so it'll be a long time before I get bored with this game. In fact, Jamboree has the most minigames out of any other Mario Party game. There was a lot of more stuff to do than just play the standard Mario Party mode though. In fact, there's so much stuff to do in this game that I only spent about 20% of my time in Jamboree playing an actual game of Mario Party. The game is bursting at the seams with content, giving us other modes like Koopathlon, Party Planner Mode, Bowser Kaboom Squad, Rhythm Kitchen, Paratroopa Flight School, and Toad's Item Factory. Koopathlon is a mode where you compete with 19 other players in minigames, all focused on getting as many coins as possible. For every coin you get, you move 1 space on the board, with the goal being to complete a certain amount of laps around the board the fastest. After 3 minigames, things switch up a lot. There are Survivathon minigames that, depending on where you place, can actually send you back a few spaces on the board. Koopathlon was incredibly addictive to me. The coin-focused minigames in Koopathlon had me hooked. They were all a blast to play, and I found myself coming back over and over again. In most Mario Party minigames, it feels like I'm just competing against the other players. And I guess I am in Koopathlon minigames too, but in Koopathlon minigames, it also feels like I'm competing against myself. I kept replaying the mode to see how quickly I could finish the race, or see how many coins I could get in certain minigames. Maybe it's just a me thing, I don't know, but I couldn't stop playing Koopathlon. If Koopathlon was a mode that I found myself rushing through, then Toad's Item Factory is a mode that made me go really slow. Toad's Item Factory is a mode where you solve puzzles to get a marble across 3 stages per level. You use motion controls to move parts of the level to try and get the marble to move. It was a lot of fun, but boy did I struggle. It's not even that the puzzles were hard, but the motion controls just did not want to work with me. I don't know if other people had this problem or if it's just a me thing, but I felt like Miyamoto at the Skyward Sword demo trying to play this game.
So you, looks like we're having a little interference here. Somebody out there using wireless? Anybody?
It did not want to work. And it's not like the other motion control based modes didn't work well in Jamboree. They all used the motion controls in really smart ways, and the motion controls worked pretty much flawlessly in the other modes. There were plenty of minigames that used motion controls too, and I didn't have a single problem with them. So I don't really know what was up with Toad's Item Factory, but I mean, hey, for what it's worth, I did have fun with it. I was just a little annoyed by the end. Speaking of motion controls, I loved Paratroopa Flight School. When I used to play Wii Sports Resort when I was younger, I insisted that I enjoyed all the modes equally. But maybe some modes were more equal than others, because I played the living crap out of the island flyover mode. I had so much fun just flying around Woohoo Island and exploring everything that the island had to offer. When I got my hands on Pilot Wings Resort for the 3DS, it was much the same. Was I terrible at both of those games? Sure. But was I having the time of my life playing them? Absolutely. And that is exactly how I felt with Paratroopa Flight School. It took me a hot second to get a hang of the controls, but once I did, I was having the time of my life. I probably looked a little goofy in real life with the way I was flapping my arms, but I loved every second of it. I didn't spend too much time playing the Sky Battle or Paratroopa Taxi modes, at least compared to the free play mode. Sure, the floating islands in the free flight mode were much smaller and much less interesting than Woohoo Island in Wii Sports Resort, and maybe this is all a nostalgia thing, but it was just so magical flying around. I actually felt completely in control, which is something I can't say very often about games that use motion controls. Free flight was something I could get lost in, and just zone out and mindlessly fly around. It was super relaxing. I'm really glad that Nintendo has continued to use motion controls on the Switch. Even though the fad died out with the Wii, I still think that they have so much untapped potential in gaming. With the release of the Switch Lite, I was a little worried that motion controls would go on the back burner, but they didn't, and I'm so happy that that's the case. Another great mode that used motion controls is Rhythm Kitchen. Rhythm Kitchen was a blast. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to play it with any friends, but I can imagine that it is awesome to play with friends. Or it's the most infuriating thing ever. Depends on the friend group. It's either going to be a wholesome and fun experience, or it's going to play out like a game of Overcooked. Rhythm Kitchen has you and 3 other people play quick minigames to prepare food, and at the end, you're given a rating out of 5 stars on how well you performed. There's a twist though. You have to prepare the food to the beat of the song that's playing. And let me tell you, I was owning that food. Even Gordon Ramsay couldn't top the food I was making. You can play the regular mode, a longer mode with more minigames, a more challenging mode, and a remix. So there's some variety to it. The minigames were all pretty creative, and I had a lot of fun playing them. The mode reminded me of the octopus dance from Nintendo Land, which was hands down my favorite mode in Nintendo Land. I kept replaying Rhythm Kitchen over and over to try to get the perfect run, and it was equally fun as it was infuriating. Another mode that is amazing to play with other people is Bowser Kaboom Squad. In this mode, you and 7 other people team up and take on Imposter Bowser. The mode has you run around a small map and break crates to pick up bombs, and then you have to load up a cannon with those bombs. It's not all sunshine and rainbows though, since Imposter Bowser and other enemies can attack you while you're trying to load the cannon. The mode requires a lot of teamwork, and once again, that made it so much fun. You get a certain amount of rounds to defeat Imposter Bowser, and in between each round, you get to play a minigame to determine what items you can get to help you defeat Bowser. The mode has some layers, but at the end of the day, it's got the same chaotic fun that Mario Party is known for. You need to be fast, and you need to strategize on the spot, which can make for some pretty fun times with your friends. And that's the thing about Mario Party. Mario Party and all the different modes that each game has all excel in the way that they encourage social interaction. I'm not saying that Mario Party itself isn't fun, but the fun mostly comes from working with or against other players. The fun comes from being with others in a room rather than just playing the game itself. It's magical, and I think that's what made the game so popular over the years. It's brought people together like very few other franchises have. With all that being said, Super Mario Party Jamboree also does a pretty good job at catering to the single player experience as well. well. Party Planner mode is a single-player mode where you can go around different boards and help out characters by solving trivia questions, playing minigames, and collecting items around the board. You get mini stars for each task you complete, with the goal being to collect 30 mini stars per board. It's a great way to get acclimated to the game if you don't have much minigame experience. I wouldn't say it's the best side mode in the game, but it's definitely not bad. Once you collect 30 mini stars, you have to fight a boss before you can move on to the next board, which I thought was pretty cool. It was a really creative use of minigames. The boss minigames were all a lot of fun, and though they weren't my favorite type of minigame, I had a good time with them. If you're itching for more boss battles though, you can unlock a boss rush mode when you reach a certain point in the battle pass. I had fun with it, but to be honest, I didn't spend too much time playing the boss rush mode either. The mode that I easily spent the majority of my time in is Minigame Bay. I replayed so many minigames over and over again, and you'd think that I'd be bored of them by now, but I'm not. Free play minigames aren't the only thing you can do in Minigame Bay though. The daily challenge has you play through a set of minigames that's swapped out daily, and you're trying to win the most minigames out of everybody else. Tag Match splits the players into 2 groups of 2, and has them duke it out to see who can win a certain amount of minigames first. I played all of the minigames an embarrassing amount of times, but without a doubt, I played Showdown Minigame Battle the most. There's a lot to do in Minigame Bay, which can be said about Super Mario Party Jamboree as a whole. Nintendo definitely delivered on their promise of this being the biggest Mario Party yet. There is so much to do here, and not only that, but each mode is so addictive. There are a ton of modes to try out, but it was hard getting myself to try them out since I always wanted to stay on the mode I was currently playing. It was hard to move on to something else. Everything had me hooked. I loved Mario Party Superstars, and I think that at the time, a return to the roots of the series was something it probably needed. Super Mario Party wasn't the worst game ever. It was definitely improvement over the last few games, but it was just missing something. Super Mario Party Jamboree is proof that Nintendo is putting the franchise back on the right track, and can still pump out amazing, brand new Mario Party games. I've had a blast playing Jamboree, and I'm sure that this is just the beginning. I cannot wait to see what memories I can make playing this game, and more importantly, I can't wait to see which of my friendships can actually survive a game of Mario Party.